Well, let's talk now to David Dunn, who's Professor of International Politics at the University of Birmingham. Good to see you again, David. Welcome back. So let's talk about Tesla first. Musk has said he will stay in charge of this company, but as we were just hearing, their share prices dropped, people boycotting the brand. Being politically involved can be risky for a business leader, can't it?
Yes, absolutely, and this is the clear case of that. And that's particularly the case when your product is attractive to one section of the electorate. In this case, it tends to be left-leaning people, environmentally concerned, who buy Teslas. And of course, they're the ones who've been outraged by the stances that Musk has taken on a variety of topics. And another aspect of that is that you can be involved politically, but actually if you're so extreme as Musk has been, doing the Nazi salutes, supporting the AFG in Germany and the like, that is going to alienate large sections of the population, and of course they're potentially buyers of your cars. So that's why we've seen the massive drop-off in sales in particular markets, in particular sectors.
But it's not just Tesla that he runs, of course. He's got other companies, including SpaceX, some of which work with the US government. And this is really perhaps a potential conflict of interest when it comes to shaping government policy.
Yes, and we've already seen legal action taken against him because of his oversight of the Federal Aviation Authority at the same time as his Starlink company is trying to win contracts away from Verizon in that market. So there really is a very clear issue here of a conflict of interest because his overall role as being in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency has a hand in every area of American government, and that's clearly a problem in terms of actually them being a conflict of interest.
So he has this specific role, of course, but he's not the only billionaire who's influenced a government. Do you think there could be tougher regulation around this?
Well, there are existing rules and regulations within the US government. You're supposed to recuse yourself from any involvement where you have commercial interests. Well, that's clearly not happening. You're supposed to actually, if you do take a job in government, put all your investments into a blind trust and step down from being directly involved in businesses. And that hasn't happened either. And it's partly to do with the fact that this role is an anomalous one. It hasn't existed before. It sits in an odd position. It hasn't had any Senate approval, but nevertheless it is having a major impact, and therefore it seems to be flouting existing regulations, which is why there have been legal action taken against him specifically to try and test this legally, but also there have been calls for either for him to step down or for there to be new regulations that are meaningful and will stop him having these very obvious conflicts of interest.
And he has himself hinted that he's actually struggling to run all of these companies, as well as this government, the Doge department. Something has to give, perhaps.
Yes, I mean, he has an enormous range of commitments. We haven't even talked about the fact that he's the CEO of Twitter, or X, and that he has various other businesses, other ones we've talked about. And he can't possibly do all those while at the same time being involved in the minutiae of government. And we have heard that he's been camping out, staying overnight in government departments so that he can work his famous 18-hour days in order to focus on the government efficiency. So he can't do all those things and keep a hand in the businesses that he owns or is involved with. And of course that's partly why there is a concern among shareholders in Tesla and indeed the other businesses that actually they would like to see him step down from the government role to focus on his business, to recover the share price. And there's also great speculation, of course, that actually, given how unpopular he is, that actually that Trump may get rid of him sooner rather than later. And in fact, many people wonder how he survived so long, given the fact that he is such a lightning rod for concern in the Trump administration.
Professor, great to talk to you as always. Thank you so much for coming back on the programme. That's Professor David Dunn from the University of Birmingham.